I remember the exact moment my wife asked for an open marriage. We were sitting in our living room, the one we had painted together 3 years ago, and she looked at me with eyes that seemed both nervous and determined. Something in my gut twisted. I thought maybe we were just going through a rough patch, that this was her way of crying out for attention. I never imagined it was because she had already found someone else, a CEO to be exact. And I definitely never saw coming what would happen next. Before I tell you how this all fell apart, let me know where you are watching from in the comments below. Hit that like button and subscribe, because this story has more twists than I ever saw coming. Now, let me take you back to the night everything changed. My name is Foster, and at 32 years old, I thought I had life figured out. Amanda and I had been married for 7 years. We met at an advertising firm in Portland, where she worked as a marketing manager and I was a graphic designer. The connection was instant. She was smart, ambitious, and had this laugh that could light up any room. Our wedding was simple but beautiful, held in a garden with close friends and family. We bought a house in the suburbs, nothing fancy, but it was ours. We talked about kids someday, but we were not in a rush. We had time, or so I believed. Our life together was good, really good. Weekend brunches at our favorite cafe, where Amanda always ordered the avocado toast and I stuck with classic pancakes. Hiking trips to Silver Falls, where we would pack sandwiches and spend hours just talking about everything and nothing. Movie nights curled up on the couch with popcorn, arguing over whether to watch action or comedy. I always let her win. Those moments felt solid, real, like we were building something that would last forever. I trusted her completely. Never once did I question her love or loyalty. That was my first mistake. About 6 months before everything collapsed, Amanda started working with a new client. It was a big deal, some tech company that was launching a revolutionary product. She came home excited, talking about presentations and strategy meetings. I was happy for her. She had always been driven, and seeing her passionate about work made me proud. But then little things began to shift. She started dressing differently, trading her usual casual work clothes for sleek dresses and heels. She joined a gym and went religiously every morning before work. Her phone, which used to sit casually on the counter, was now always face down and within her reach. I noticed, but I did not worry. Not really. I thought she was just taking better care of herself, getting more serious about her career. If anything, I found it attractive. My wife was glowing, confident, full of energy. I should have paid closer attention to where that energy was coming from. She started mentioning someone named Preston. At first it was professional. Preston thinks we should pivot the campaign. Preston suggested this approach. Preston loved my presentation. Then it became more personal. Preston went to Harvard. Preston drives a Tesla. Preston has a house in the hills with a view of the entire city. Every conversation seemed to circle back to him. Still, I brushed it off. She was impressed by a successful client. Nothing wrong with that, right? Then came that Friday night. I should have known something was up when I got home and smelled garlic and rosemary. Amanda had cooked an elaborate dinner, something she only did for special occasions. Roasted chicken, mashed potatoes, green beans with almonds, even a bottle of wine she must have picked up on her way home. The table was set with candles. It felt romantic, and for a moment, I let myself believe we were reconnecting. We ate and talked about small things. Work plans for the weekend, a funny story about our neighbor's cat. But I could see she was nervous. Her hands fidgeted with her napkin. She kept refilling her wine glass. After we finished eating, she cleared her throat and looked at me with an expression I could not quite read. "Foster, I need to talk to you about something." Her voice was steady, but her eyes gave her away. She was scared. "Okay," I said, reaching across the table to hold her hand. "What is it?" She took a deep breath. "I've been thinking a lot about us, about our relationship. And I love you. I really do, but I feel like we are stuck, like we are not growing anymore." My stomach dropped. "Those words coming from your spouse, they hit different. What do you mean? I thought we were happy." "We are," she said quickly, "but I keep thinking about all the things we have not experienced. We got married young. We have only been with each other. What if we are missing out?" I felt my chest tighten. "Missing out on what, Paula?" She pulled her hand back and looked down at the table. What if we tried an open marriage, just to see other people experience new things? It does not mean we love each other any less. It could actually make us stronger. The room went silent except for the hum of the refrigerator. I stared at her, waiting for her to laugh to say she was joking. She did not. "Are you serious right now?" I asked. "I am," she said, meeting my eyes. "I have been reading about it. Lots of couples do this. It is about freedom and trust. We could explore ourselves individually and then come back together with fresh perspective. Is there someone else?" The question came out before I could stop it. She looked offended. "No, Foster. This is not about someone else. This is about us. About me feeling trapped. Trapped." That word stung worse than anything else she had said. I made her feel trapped. We argued for hours. She cried and said she felt guilty for even bringing it up, but that she could not ignore these feelings anymore. I told her I did not want anyone else, that I was perfectly happy with what we had. She said that was the problem, that I was too comfortable, that life was passing us by. Eventually, exhausted and terrified of losing her, I agreed to try it. Just try it. I thought maybe if I gave her this, she would realize what we had was enough. I thought she would come back to me. I was so incredibly wrong. The next morning, Amanda was different. The heaviness from the night before was gone, replaced by something light and almost giddy. She kissed me on the cheek and told me she loved me, that this was going to be good for us. I felt numb. I went to work and could barely focus. My colleagues asked if I was feeling okay. I lied and said I was just tired. That weekend, Amanda seemed energized in a way I had not seen in months. She hummed while making coffee. She smiled at her phone constantly. When I asked what she was so happy about, she said she just felt free. I wanted to believe that was a good thing. I wanted to believe we were going to be okay. But deep down, in a place I was not ready to admit existed, I knew I had made a terrible mistake. It took exactly 2 days for Amanda to make her first move. 2 days. On Monday evening, she came into the bedroom while I was reading and announced she had plans. "Dinner with colleagues," she said. She was already dressed in a black dress I had never seen before, her hair styled in loose waves, makeup perfect. She smelled like expensive perfume. "You look nice," I said, trying to keep my voice neutral. "Thanks," she said, checking herself in the mirror one last time. "Do not wait up for me." She left at 7. I sat in our house alone, staring at the walls, feeling like a stranger in my own life. I tried to watch television but could not focus. I tried to work on a design project, but my hands felt useless. Around 11, I went to bed. She was not home. At midnight, still not home. I lay there in the dark, imagining where she was, who she was, with what they were doing. It was torture. She came home at 2 in the morning. I heard the front door open, her heels clicking on the hardwood floor, the sound of her dropping her purse on the counter. She came into the bedroom, undressed quietly, and slipped into bed beside me. I pretended to be asleep. She smelled different, not like her usual scent. It made me sick. This became the pattern. 3 nights a week sometimes, 4, Amanda had plans. She would dress up, leave, and come home late. When I asked where she had been, she would give vague answers. Networking event, drinks with the team, catching up with friends. When I pressed for details, she reminded me that this was what we had agreed to, that I needed to trust her, that this was healthy. I was dying inside. I did not go out. I did not want to see other people. The whole idea felt wrong, like betraying something sacred. So I stayed home alone, night after night, wondering what my marriage had become. I lost weight. I stopped sleeping well. My work suffered. Friends noticed I was off, but I could not explain what was happening. How do you tell people your wife convinced you to open your marriage, and now you are watching her slip away? Then, one evening about 3 weeks into this nightmare, Amanda left her phone on the kitchen counter while she was in the shower. It buzzed. I should not have looked. I know that. But something in me broke, and I picked it up. The screen showed a text notification. "Cannot wait to see you tonight, babe." The name at the top was Preston. My blood went cold. Preston, the CEO. The guy she had been talking about for months. It was not just some abstract idea. She had someone specific in mind, before she ever asked me for an open marriage. This was not about freedom or exploration. This was about him. I sat down at the kitchen table, phone still in my hand, feeling like the world had tilted off its axis. When Amanda came out of the shower wrapped in a towel, she saw me holding her phone. Her face went pale. "Foster," she started. "Preston," I said. "You are seeing Preston." She did not deny it. She just stood there, water dripping from her hair onto the floor. "How long?" I asked. "Does it matter?" she said quietly. "Yes, it matters." My voice cracked. "Did you already have something with him before you asked me for this?" She looked away. That was answer enough. "I cannot believe this," I said, standing up. "You had this planned. You wanted permission to cheat, so you would not feel guilty." "That is not fair," she shot back. "You agreed to this. We both did. Because I thought I was going to lose you," I shouted. "I thought if I said no, you would leave me anyway. So I said yes, hoping you would realize what you were throwing away. But you already knew who you wanted, did you not? You already had him lined up." She wrapped her arms around herself. "I care about him, Foster. I am sorry, but I do. He makes me feel alive, and I do not." She did not answer. That silence said everything. I looked up Preston online that night after Amanda went to bed. 45 years old, divorced twice, founded 3 successful tech companies, lived in a mansion in the West Hills, drove luxury cars, donated to charities, gave TED Talks. He was everything I was not. Older, richer, more powerful. I felt small, insignificant, like I never stood a chance. The next morning I told Amanda I needed space. She said that was probably good for both of us. She moved into the guest room. We became roommates who barely spoke. I felt like a ghost in my own home. That weekend I could not stand being in the house anymore. I grabbed my jacket and walked to a coffee shop a few blocks away, the one with the big windows and the good espresso. I needed to be around people, even if I was not talking to anyone. I ordered a black coffee and sat in the corner staring at nothing. "Foster," I looked up. Sophia stood there holding a latte, looking surprised to see me. Sophia had been Amanda's best friend since college. They met freshman year and stayed close through everything. Sophia was always kind to me, always included me in conversations when we all hung out. She was different from Amanda. Quieter, more thoughtful. She worked as a teacher at an elementary school and lived in a small apartment downtown. She had warm brown eyes and an easy smile. I liked her in the way you like your spouse's friends. "Hey, Sophia," I said, trying to muster some energy. "Can I sit?" she asked, gesturing to the chair across from me. "Sure." She sat down and studied my face. "You look terrible." "Are you okay?" I let out a bitter laugh. "Not really." "Where's Amanda? I have not heard from her in weeks." I hesitated. I did not want to get into it, but something about the genuine concern in Sophia's eyes made me crack. She is probably with Preston. Who the CEO she has been seeing? Sophia's face shifted from confusion to shock. "What are you talking about?" So I told her. Everything. The open marriage conversation. Amanda's nights out. Preston. The text message. How I felt like my life was unraveling. Sophia listened, without interrupting, her expression growing darker with every detail. When I finished, she sat back in her chair and shook her head. "I cannot believe her. You did not know." "No." Sophia looked genuinely upset. "She has not said a word to me about any of this. I had no idea she was seeing someone, let alone that you two opened your marriage. Foster, I am so sorry. It is not your fault." "Still," she said, "Amanda is my friend. But what she is doing to you is wrong. You deserve better than this." Hearing someone say that someone who actually knew both of us felt like a lifeline. We talked for 2 hours. About marriage disappointment, what happens when people change. Sophia told me about her own failed engagement years ago, how her fiancé had cheated and left her feeling broken. She understood what I was going through in a way no one else could. Before we left, she wrote her number on a napkin and slid it across the table. "If you need to talk, call me. I mean it." I took the napkin and put it in my pocket. For the first time in weeks, I felt less alone. Sophia and I started texting. Nothing romantic at first, just friendly check-ins. How are you holding up? Did you eat today? Want to grab coffee? It was nice having someone who cared, who asked how I was doing without judgment. Amanda had stopped asking entirely. She was consumed by her new life with Preston. She came home, less and less. When she did, she barely looked at me. Sophia and I met up regularly over the next few weeks. Coffee turned into walks through the park. Walks turned into lunch. We talked about everything. Books, music, childhood memories, dreams we had given up on. She was easy to be around. There was no pretense, no game playing, just genuine connection. I found myself thinking about her more than I should. The way she laughed at my jokes. The way she listened when I talked, like my words actually mattered. The way she looked at me, like I was worth something. It scared me how much I looked forward to seeing her. One afternoon we were sitting on a bench near the river. The sun was setting, and the water looked golden. Sophia turned to me and said, "You know Amanda does not deserve you, right?" I shrugged. "Maybe I do not deserve her either." "Stop that," she said firmly. "You are kind. You are loyal. You loved her with everything you had. She is the one who threw it away. She found someone better." "No," Sophia said, her voice soft but certain. "She found someone richer." "That is not the same thing." I looked at her and something shifted. This was not just friendship anymore. I could feel it, and I think she could too. But neither of us said anything, not yet. We were both too scared of what it meant. Then one evening, Amanda came home earlier than usual. I was sitting on the couch reading when she walked in. She looked upset. Mascara was smudged under her eyes like she had been crying. I closed my book. "What happened?" I asked, more out of habit than concern. She sat down on the chair across from me and put her face in her hands. "Preston ended things." I just stared at her. "He said it was fun, but he is not looking for anything serious. He is seeing someone else now, someone younger." Her voice broke. "I thought he loved me. I thought we had a future. I should have felt something. Sympathy, maybe. Satisfaction. But I felt nothing. Just empty." "I am sorry," I said, though I was not sure I meant it. She looked up at me with red eyes. "I made a terrible mistake, Foster. I see that now. I love you. I want us back. Can we close the marriage? Can we try again?" There it was. The moment I had been waiting for months ago. The moment where she came back to me, and we could fix this. Except now, sitting there looking at her, I realized I did not want that anymore. "Why now?" I asked quietly. "What? Why now, Amanda? Why do you want me back now?" "Because I realize what I lost," she said, standing up and moving toward me. "You are my husband. You are the one who has always been there. I was stupid, and I am sorry. Please, Foster, we can fix this. You do not love me." I said the words coming out clear and calm. "You love the idea of not being alone. Preston dumped you, and now you want your backup plan. That is not true." "Yes, it is." I stood up. "You did not realize what you lost. You just lost what you thought you wanted, and now you are settling." She started crying harder. "Please do not do this. I am begging you. I will do anything." "Amanda," I said, and my voice was steady in a way that surprised me. "I think we are done." Her face went from sad to shocked. "What do you mean? You cannot leave me. We are married. You left me 3 months ago," I said. "I am just making it official." "Is there someone else?" she demanded, her voice rising. "Are you seeing someone?" I thought about lying, but I was done with lies. "Yes." Her eyes went wide. "Who, Sophia?" For a second she just stood there frozen. Then it was like something exploded inside her. "Sophia, my best friend. She is a better friend to me than you ever were as a wife." Amanda lost it. She screamed, called me names, threw a pillow across the room. She said Sophia was a traitor, that I was disgusting, that we both betrayed her. The irony was almost funny. "How could she do this to me?" Amanda cried. "How could you do this to us?" I shot back. She had no answer for that. I told her I had already talked to a lawyer. The divorce would be straightforward since we had no kids, and we could split assets evenly. She threatened to make it difficult to drag it out to tell everyone what I had done. I told her to go ahead. Our friends already knew the truth. They knew she had asked for an open marriage, that she had been seeing Preston, that she had thrown away our relationship for someone who did not even want her. If she wanted to add to that story, she was welcome to. Within a week, I moved out. I stayed with a buddy from work while I looked for my own place. Sophia helped me pack. Amanda tried to call her a dozen times. Sophia blocked her number. Amanda spread rumors, told people we had stabbed her in the back, that we had been sneaking around while she was trying to save our marriage. But the truth has a way of coming out. Our mutual friends knew what really happened. Most of them sided with me. Amanda found herself isolated, the architect of her own loneliness. 6 months later, the divorce was finalized. I signed the papers in a lawyer's office on a rainy Tuesday morning. I thought I would feel sad, but mostly I felt relieved. Like I had been holding my breath for years and finally could exhale. Sophia and I were officially together by then. It was not rushed or dramatic. It just happened naturally, the way good things do when you stop forcing them. She moved into the new apartment I had rented near downtown. It was smaller than the house I shared with Amanda, but it felt like home in a way that place never did. We cooked dinner together, watched movies without tension, hanging in the air, talked about our days, and actually listened to each other. It was simple and real, and exactly what I needed. The healing was not instant. There were hard days where I felt angry or hurt or foolish for not seeing Amanda's betrayal coming. Sophia was patient with me. She let me feel what I needed to feel without judgment. She reminded me that I was not stupid for trusting someone I loved, that Amanda's choices were not my fault. Slowly, I started to feel like myself again. I threw myself into my work and got a promotion. I reconnected with friends I had neglected during the dark months of my marriage falling apart. I started running in the mornings. I laughed more. I slept better. Through mutual friends, I heard updates about Amanda. She was struggling. Preston had moved on to someone new and flaunted it on social media. Her reputation at work had taken a hit when people found out about the affair with a client. She dated casually, but nothing stuck. She tried to reach out to Sophia a few times, leaving long voicemails about how sorry she was, how she missed their friendship. Sophia never responded. Some bridges once burned cannot be rebuilt. I did not gloat about Amanda's situation. Honestly, I just felt sad for her. She had chased something shiny and exciting, and lost everything real in the process. She wanted the CEO with the mansion and the status, but what she got was loneliness and regret. I hoped she would find peace eventually, but that was not my problem anymore. One evening, Sophia and I were sitting on the balcony of our apartment watching the sunset. She was reading a book, and I was just watching the sky change colors. She looked over at me and smiled. "What are you thinking about?" she asked. "How different my life is now," I said. "A year ago, I thought my world was ending. Now, I cannot imagine being anywhere else." She reached over and took my hand. "I am glad you are here. Me too." We sat there in comfortable silence. That was the thing about being with Sophia. Silence did not feel empty or tense. It felt full. Like we did not need to fill every moment with words because just being together was enough. Looking back now, I realize that sometimes the worst thing that happens to you turns out to be the best thing that ever could. Amanda wanted an open marriage to find something better. Instead, she lost everything real. And me, I found something I did not even know I was missing. Real love is not about keeping your options open. It is about choosing someone every single day and knowing they choose you back. Amanda thought Preston was an upgrade. She thought success and money equaled happiness. But happiness is not found in mansions or fancy cars or impressive job titles. It is found in the small moments. Morning coffee with someone who knows how you take it. A hand to hold when you are scared. A person who sees you at your worst and stays anyway. I learned that you cannot build a future on someone else's pain. Amanda tried, and it collapsed. I also learned that sometimes losing everything is the only way to find what actually matters. My marriage ended, but my life began. That trade painful, as it was turned out to be worth it. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever had someone in your life chase what they thought was better, only to lose what was real? How did you handle betrayal in a relationship? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this story resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more real-life stories like this one. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Thank you for watching and listening to my story. I hope it reminds you that even when everything falls apart, you can build something better from the pieces. Take care of yourself, and remember that you deserve someone who chooses you every single day without condition.